So welcome to our channel again. We have another topic which is it has been fairly newsworthy, so we'll go into that. And there have been other recent changes within our information that we found about certain products, and we'll go into that today. So welcome back. I'm Dhalia Masud. I'm here with you today.
I'm Hayley.
I'm Rachel.
I'm Sal.
Brilliant. So there's been a lot of information in the news about a certain person who has been posing as a surgeon, and she's been doing surgery, interestingly, in a living room, and has been moving from place to place. And this surgeon doing facial surgery, blepharoplasty, so quite invasive surgery.
There's a lot of blephs.
Local anaesthetic procedures.
We think local anaesthetic, but there are also surgeons that are doing general anaesthetic procedures in this kind of environment.
Yeah.
Why do you think a person would go to someone who does surgery in that kind of environment? What pushes them?
Cost.
Yeah, money.
It's purely cost,
I think so. That would be the motivational.
Something done, they can't afford it.
I do wonder how they even hear of these kind of people, though.
So they're heard online.
Okay.
And they've got really nice, flashy websites. Lots of people go to them. So they make a lot of money, and they can afford the advertising with the flashy websites. And when you go and see them, they do tend to, their consultations are in a clinical environment. But when it comes to the surgery, they don't go to the clinical environment. They get booked into someone's home or someone's living room, and that's where the surgery takes place. So the initial patch is in a clinical environment.
With the consultation.
With the consultation. And then after that, they will go into someone's living room to have that done.
When they arrive just at a house, what are their
back
thoughts
away,
going to be, though?
Exactly. So why...
They've probably already paid the money, though.
Yeah.
So you kind of think, well, I'm either going to, I'm sure there's a thing that you sign which is non-returnable. Possibly.
And also, a lot of these patients get referred by other patients.
It's a pretty big skill, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you are playing with somebody. That's a real skill that you do.
And these people are not qualified?
Not qualified, no. So, and then this person went to, because they've found them, they went to another country, I think. And then they had surgery in Germany. Then they set up in Germany.
Yeah.
So
because they got a lot of advertising through the complaints, their profile went higher, both online and word of mouth, and then they got even more patients to go there because they heard it was cheaper.
Even though the advertising is of complaints, though,
but even with the complaints,
they just push them up in the algorithm, you mean? Okay.
So, what do you think about that?
Scary,
yeah.
I think.
I think you need to really do your research when you're having, especially if you're having stuff at any body part but the face.
Yeah.
I don't think I would, I wouldn't. Because what if it goes wrong? And obviously some of these things have gone wrong.
Yeah.
So are you saying they just rent a clinic environment for doing consultation? Right.
There's a moral issue there, though, because I would be so concerned, one, that I was going to get massively sued, but two, you could really...
Someone could die.
Yeah, because I think they were putting them out fully. I don't think it was just local. They were fully going out.
Yeah. So possibly the person wouldn't even see the room that they're actually being operated.
No, because...
They'll only see the bit where they're being put to sleep, won't they?
Who is the anaesthetist? I mean, surely... I mean, that's a different skill set in itself, isn't it? You're not a surgeon and an anaesthetist. It's two different things.
And why would an anaesthetist want to work with someone unqualified?
I think that's the thing, they weren't. I think she was doing it. So she was putting them out and then doing the work.
I see.
The same practitioner we investigated is still operating, this time in a house in Manchester. In July, we uncovered Luyen Vu offering surgical cosmetic procedures, including upper blepharoplasty and facelifts without UK medical qualifications. She was operating from a flat above a restaurant. No formal consultation offered, no medical history taken, only asking for cash on the day. We put this investigation to the Health Secretary, Wes Streeting, who told 5 News that they would look into this and that the government would be tightening regulation. But despite all of this, we found that Luyen Vu is still carrying out surgical procedures.
Hi loves, it's Jordan again from Manchester.
And the appointments are being arranged by Jordan Park, the self-titled Lip King. Mr. Park is currently on bail in connection with the death of Alice Webb, who died after receiving Brazilian butt lift injections. He claims he was fully qualified and insured to carry out the procedure. He has
Right.
So,
He's got some information. So there's a lot of information in the news, or there is news about people who aren't doctors. It's not even, they're not fully qualified. They're physically not doctors. They're not registered in the UK, and they're performing quite invasive surgery. Again, why, knowing that, why do people go to these people?
well, she was charging £800 of less.
Yeah.
So I think that probably speaks volumes.
Or,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's cost motivated, but if you're not going to be given the location, which that indicated, that you know there's something wrong, why wouldn't you have wanted to see where you were actually going to have the surgery? Like, okay, well, it's not here then where I've had the consultation. Where is it?
And she also had a translator there as well, didn't she? Because they were asking questions.
You hear a lot, don't you, about checks on people doing aesthetic and how much tighter that's all becoming. So I'm really shocked to know there's people posing as surgeons. And
that's the thing, there are lots of checks on actual surgeons.
yeah.
If you're an actual surgeon, you will get checked to the hilt. We have to have appraisals every year. How many operations we do, what our complication is, it's our satisfaction rate, is all online, okay? And we have to go through extra training, years and years and years. And if anything goes wrong, everyone goes down on us as surgeons. But if you're not a doctor, you can do whatever you want.
And you think of the cost of your insurances as well for you to be able to do what you do.
They definitely have no insurance.
No.
So they can do, what's going to happen to her? She's not part of any regulatory body to go down on her.
No, it's only, I assume only if she kills somebody, then obviously she'll have a bit
would
of
it
thrown
become
at her.
manslaughter?
Then it becomes a criminal thing. But if patients aren't complaining, like these people aren't coming forward to complain.
Yeah.
Well, because they wouldn't know that they're not the only one.
Yeah. And
Until you get things like that come up, and then everyone thinks, oh, that was me as well, and they'll all make contact. But at the time, they might think they're the only one.
And another important statement from that review is that there was a lady that had a bad result and she wanted to try and kill herself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, or she wanted to, hurt herself in a negative way. This is something that we don't want. But there are certain people who ask for cosmetic surgery. We know that they are at a higher risk of psychological issues. So as a standard, we do recommend people have psychological assessment before. That doesn't necessarily mean there's something wrong with them, but it's an important assessment that we kind of try and make in clinic, but also formally get people to have, because patients are at greater risk of harming themselves if things don't go right. But also, there may be other issues that need to be dealt with before they try and operate on themselves.
Yes.
So none of these patients are having psychological support pre-surgery and definitely not post-surgery. And that's what a surgeon needs to do. A surgeon needs to be able to identify why someone wants to change their eyes, why someone wants to change their nose. Are there any other issues that need to be dealt with before we go ahead with surgery? And we ask for psychological reports for a lot of our patients, and we've actually said, you're not a suitable candidate for cosmetic surgery you need to deal with the other issues that make you feel the way you do before we go ahead with surgery. And places like these can't identify things like that.
No, because on that undercover thing, that woman went in for a lower breath. When she got there, they were like, we can do a fat removal, all these other things that they've put on you.
It's a lot of
That's
pressure.
a lot of pressure, because if you are in that way and you're not happy within yourself anyway, and then someone's going, well, maybe you need a fat removal.
This is what you need.
As
Then
well.
they're going to focus on something new.
And they were saying that some of the incisions that woman had done were in the wrong place. So some people may be able to get away with it, depending on wrinkling or anything like that. But there'll be some that it's going to be so prominent, like that woman
Live
had.
with those scars, aren't
So
they?
that lady
Yeah.
couldn't close her eyes.
She'll close her eyes. I mean,
Can't
what
live
the
like that.
hell? It's such a delicate place, isn't it, when you do it? It you know.
Can you actually sleep if you're unable to close your eyes?
You have to have eye protection. So it
Right.
depends how much she's not able to close her eyes. But if she's not able to fully close her eyes, she'll have to have some kind of lubrication and cover to fully close her eyes. Well, they need to undergo significant reconstructive surgery to add skin back in.
I was going to say, because once you take it out, you can't put it back in. I mean,
Yeah. Once you take it out, you can't put it back in. That's why most surgeons tend to have a conservative approach anyway. There'll always be a little bit of bagginess, particularly with skin quality. Not everyone's skin quality bounces back nicely. So that extra little bit of bagginess allows them to close their eyes fully. So it's really, really, it's a fine balance.
But what's the mental state as well of these people posing as the surgeons? They're butchering people.
Yeah.
So even they have their thoughts of working, knowing they're not qualified and that they're just doing it any old how.
yeah,
It's
I'm
like,
too worried. I'm too
Right.
much of a worrier. I couldn't do that.
No.
But like you said, what makes someone say, oh, I'm just going to go and do that?
I know, and actually take a scalpel to someone knowing they don't know what
know
they're
the
Serial
doing.
killers. I say this every time to you. That
Yeah.
there's definitely some sort of, that's not normal behaviour, is it?
So it's really important. Number one, check that your surgeon is on the GMC specialist register in the UK. And if you are going for a plastic surgeon, it will say plastic surgery on the GMC specialist register.
And they will tell you where the surgery is going to be, not
And they
48
will tell you,
hours.
Yeah, and they will get. But there are also lots of people that aren't plastic surgeons that do plastic surgery. They're on the GMC specialist register. So even when you're on the GMC specialist register, you need to look at whether they are doing plastic surgery or whether they're GP
General surgery.
or general surgery.
That woman had a washing machine in there.
Okay.
There was a washing machine in that room. What on earth?
Yeah, which so dirty things have been. Yeah.
You know, someone's lounge.
I know. People do it.
I mean,
And I think the type of people that go in there, they do need some kind of support and help, because I think, like we said, psychological support is a big part, or, psychology is a big part of why people want to have surgery, particularly when they know that it's not in a nice, an appropriate environment. So yeah, check the specialist register, check that the location that they're operated on is CQC registered, and that will usually say, so in our clinic we will say we're CQC registered, the hospitals are CQC registered, and knowing that, and also this is why having your surgery in established places like an NHS hospital is quite beneficial, because you know that they're all regulated.
Yeah.
But it is really, really
Shocking.
shocking and scary.
I don't think it will get any better, personally. No, because I think as well now in society, everything is a lot more pressure to look a certain way. And not everybody is going to have the finances to be able to get it done. So desperate people will get desperate measures, isn't it?
And then on another note, that brings onto some other exciting, well, I think really good news. social media being banned for under 16.
I agree.
Yes.
What are your thoughts? From a surgeon point of view, I think it's fantastic. I don't think, even though I know it's going to be difficult to regulate,
Yeah.
but I think, I've got a niece and they get massively influenced by what's on social media.
Yeah. Even selling them stuff, because that I found annoying, just on the Kardashian side of it, that when my daughter was that age, you know, they would bring out
The lip kit,
lipstick, and these things would be £30, you know,
Yeah.
for a girl who's only got her pocket money. And I used to try to say to her that's why they are multi-millionaires.
Yeah.
Like you're funding that.
Yeah.
But it's very difficult. Obviously, at that age, she wasn't going to
Yeah,
understand
like
what was safe.
Kylie had loads of lip filler, and she was saying, wasn't she? Oh, you can buy my lip kit
I
and
know,
you can
but the
create
young
this
girls
look.
believe that, and
Yeah,
that was
that's
so hard
it.
as a mum trying to say to my daughter, "You're just funding them. That it's not real." Really
I
hard.
totally agree with you. I think you know that is an artificial lip.
Yeah.
But a 14, 15-year-old girl is not going to know
believe
that's
they
what
don't.
it is.
And
they're
then-
gonna be
and as the
judged.
parent, they just think you're just saying it because you're just being negative because you're their parent.
Yeah.
It's really
You don't
hard.
understand. Yeah.
Exactly.
You don't
yeah.
understand.
I mean,
And
we
I
just
think-
had Heather Shimmer, didn't we, in our day? Rimmel, that's
Rimmel.
all,
Yeah.
like one shade.
Yeah. And because they've been brainwashed from such a young age, as soon as they hit 18, 19, and they've got that extra bit of cash, they're going to go out there and do all sorts of stuff to their face because they've been indoctrinated from such a young
But surely
age.
that's false advertising as well. If anybody tries to say this particular lip product is what's giving them the volume, when actually it's been
Yeah, I don't know
another
what happened with
procedure.
that. I
That's
wonder whether there
false
was some kind of
advertising.
lawsuit on that. I'm not sure.
I don't know. But it is affecting our young.
It is.
And, you know, and so many young girls are having baby Botox and
I know,
all
that's
this
nuts.
stuff with their face. Now, with social media, do you think this will help our kids?
No.
I think it will help from the bullying side of things. Not sure about
The thing is that even
products and
They're going to still have access to it, though, aren't they?
they'll find a
Surely.
way, won't they?
Yeah.
There's nothing to stop them picking up my phone.
They will
well, there
find
will
a
be
way.
if you've got controls
Yeah.
on it.
I think they will find a way, but there will be a certain group of kids where I think, because you need that extra barrier to find a way,
Yeah.
they will be protected.
Yeah.
I think
obviously,
teachers are going to be feeling quite happy about this. I think it will make school life a bit easier for them, because then there's no point them even having their phones.
No,
Well,
although the
they-
schools ask them to use their phone for certain things, and
Oh,
nothing,
do they?
which I think
Yeah, I
is
mean, I
stupid.
still have to have my daughter still has to have a phone because we're
Just
quite
if you
rural.
needed it.
You know, if she misses her bus, I'm going to need to know.
So what do you, because you've got a daughter and she sits within that bracket of being banned from social media, what are you going to do? How are you going to deal with it?
I think because we monitor it anyway, but I do. Yeah,
How do you monitor it?
I can see on her phone how long she's been on there
Okay.
and on what.
Oh, can you?
Yeah. So we you know, and I do say I want to go through your phone, and she will let me. If she doesn't, and the phone just goes, and she doesn't have it.
So you're
But-
I think that's a responsible way of doing it.
You have to be you have to know what they're doing.
You have to know what they're doing. You have to be quite aggressive. in the
She
way
hates
you
me
do it.
sometimes. Yeah.
I'm not sure every parent has the ability or the strength to do that.
No,
Because
because
they're
some people like a
fighting.
quiet life.
Yeah, they are fighting against society.
Yeah.
You are, you're a strong mother. You're in an environment that's, quite nice. You're not going to be, you don't have a lot of the influences that maybe a kid in London with the bombardment of things. They may, like my niece, in London there is a lot of pressure for kids.
Yeah.
Going to school on the bus. That's why I think it's a good thing.
I think it's a good thing.
But do you think it'll benefit?
No.
You don't think so?
No, because, I mean, let's put it this way. You're not supposed to have sex until you're 16, but there's a lot of these young kids that are having sex, but, the same kind of thing. You're going to be with them constantly? They could set up a fake ID and be able to get on. I mean, is it going to be a face recognition thing for everybody? No. There's always ways around it.
But do you not feel that, okay, with the generation that have already got a phone and have started, yes, I get that it'll be difficult for the kids. But the kids that haven't been introduced to the phone already,
knowing they can't,
knowing they can't, they haven't had a taste of it.
Yeah.
So it'll be easier for them.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
They will know they've got to wait until that age. I think so.
I think for people that have already, if you're 13, 14, I think I agree.
Yeah, like if you've got siblings, I think it's going to be really difficult. But if you're like a newer parent and your kid hasn't got a phone yet, then yes. But I still think the playground is hard, isn't it? And if you don't have an iPhone, I mean, if you have an Android phone, I mean, wow, it's crazy.
Yeah, well, for my daughter's 15, 16 in April, so she'll have that short period where she's not supposed to have it, but she's had it since she's 13.
Yeah.
So it'll be difficult.
I think they'll have to make allowances for that crossover. It's going to take a decade, really, to fully come into force, isn't it? As you say, for the little ones now at primary will not have it.
Yeah.
So, it's going to be a crossover period.
And I think they do need like, for me, it may not be for everybody, but we are quite remote. So I'm a mental parent anyway, probably, where I have to know where they are at all times.
But you say that when I was growing up, we didn't even have phones.
No, we
they
didn't, but
exist.
look what we got up to, Rachel. I mean,
But what you got up to?
Yeah.
Rachel was fun.
If the car broke down in the middle of nowhere, you just had to walk to the nearest house and ask to use their landline.
I know.
And then
there is that.
There is life without a phone.
But then if somebody knocked on your door now and you had some 16-year-old boy knock on your door, I don't know if I'd necessarily let them in my home.
You don't have to let them in. You can just
You
stand
give
on
them
the
a
doorstep with the phone.
I don't know. I think just time's different. There's too many crazy...
But we've always had it with our kids as well.
Yeah.
Times are different, but times became different, I think, with the introduction of social media.
Yeah.
They did, because people can see stuff and
I think
think
that's the good
normal.
and bad, because it's allowed a lot of transparency into people's lives.
Yeah.
And there is a good side to that, because when I was young, you didn't know what was going on or even what other countries looked like. So in a way, having that transparency and seeing things is great. But as we all know, the negative side.
The doom scrolling.
Yeah.
It's really difficult, but I think there's so much opportunity jobs in social media now, which before no one had that.
Yeah.
But they're just selling stuff, a lot of them. All this influencing, it's to sell things, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is, right? And
I think social media is good and is positive, but I think there needs to be a control, and this is a good way to control it.
yeah.
And in terms of the education, I think there has to be a way where you can educate the kids without getting them addicted to the social media and doom scrolling.
Yeah.
And I think this is a really good way forward.
So they're only banned from the social media platforms.
Yeah.
Is that right? But your children can have a phone. And if you'd got them onto something, I don't know, Blue Planet type thing, they're allowed to view things. It's just social media.
Instagram, Facebook.
Okay.
I saw something today on the news, and it was the woman, I don't know, she was like an MP, and she's speaking to her daughter and filming it, going, Mummy's had loads of messages from parents, and we finally got this bill through, so you're not having YouTube. But yet she's filming her daughter and putting it on.
Yeah.
I mean, I just... like, what is that all about? You filming your daughter crying? What are you doing?
I think there's going to be a massive transition period for people. But I think it will be, it's like the smoking ban, It's everyone's right to smoke, whether they want to do it, but actually we know statistically it is bad for you, Social media, and if you want to do it, there are public places to do it in. You can do it in your own home. There are ways that you can do it. And I think social media is going to be the same. If you want to do it, you've just got to be super regular.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a difficult one.
It's going to be difficult, but I think it's the right way forward.
To watch and free, isn't it? But I think it'll be over a decade.
I'm skeptical.
You don't think. What about giving kids a phone without the smart app option?
Yeah, that's just fine. I mean, I just think as a parent, I don't know.
I'm back to what the first phones were. Or
Yeah. I mean, I've always, with my daughter, I feel like I've always threatened that if she messes around and I feel that I can't trust her with a phone, then she will just have a phone which has got nothing on it.
Yeah, we did the same.
And that's totally fine.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But it's quite stressful to do that, give them that threat, though, isn't it?
No.
Do you find it stressful?
No.
Well,
It depends on the kid. Depends if they the kind of kid that's going to really battle you with it.
Yeah.
But
what do your daughters look at?
Makeup tutorials is mainly mine.
We're on Snapchat. She is Snapchat mad.
Okay, so we don't have Snapchat.
Yeah. That'll come as she gets older. It won't now.
It won't now, but that is one of the things that I don't like, because I just feel you can be sent something.
Yeah.
And that might be very inappropriate.
The filters mentally really negatively affect kids.
Yeah.
Because they're even adults. Because the filters morph you into a way that's unrealistic. They think they look better. And then they come to us wanting to look like this, or they grow up thinking, I need to look like this.
My kids are quite sweet, so things like that. Because I was looking at haircuts the other day for my son, and I was like, I like this haircut. And he's 8, and was like, that's AI.
Yeah.
No, but he knew. They do. I think we underestimate how much they do actually know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is, if we give the kids the power, and we continue to give them the power, they have the innate inherent ability to regulate themselves in a positive way. And
I just think it
not all kids.
No, I think it. Do you know what? I think it does depend on parenting and their friends as well, because you could be the best parent in the world and they get in with the wrong crowd, and there's it is what it is. But it is a lot on that person as an individual. So I think sometimes we have to, like we learn as children, some situations we shouldn't have got in. It's the same for them. They will learn,
Do you think the emphasis should be more on the companies filtering what's allowed on there rather than
100%.
stopping of the children? Surely going from that angle.
Yeah.
And because they're the ones earning all the money as well. So if they had more screening and were stopped on a lot of their, I don't know what it is.
100%.
It's damaging because my children are older, but shouldn't it go from their side as the provider of
I'm sure there is some logistical issue with
rather
getting
than the
them
child
to regulate
being
it.
stopped.
Because
They can only see what's available, aren't they? So
well, companies have had the opportunity to do that over the past decade or so, and it hasn't worked.
okay.
I suspect
Why
that's...
though?
Well, they've tried to ban people under 12 or something having social media anyway, and people are still going on it, so it's not working. And I think for some social media platforms, you do need to verify yourself, but it's not working.
No.
So there has been an attempt. They haven't gone far enough, and that's why the government have said, okay, we've given you the opportunity.
But if it wasn't harmful content that they were having access to, there wouldn't be a problem, would there? Or is that naive of me? It's like they can only see what's allowed to be on there.
Yeah. It's difficult. I think it's impossible to
raise anyone
regulate.
can post anything they want, can't they? You can't.
While it's not filtered, they can.
Yeah.
So
and these things, you can report it and it gets taken down, but then someone else just does it and it just keeps. Like, how would they ever keep on
big
top
a
of
problem
it?
then?
It's
It's just too much, right?
Yeah.
It's out of control.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
But I don't think it will work completely if the parents are also addicted to social media.
No.
Yeah.
If the parents are constantly on the phone, even if you ban it with the kids, I think there will still be a negative effect. So I think we as adults,
smoking and then saying you can't smoke.
Yeah,
but I do.
Exactly.
I think that is a massive thing. So we at home at a certain time, everyone's phone goes away. We can't have that, because if not, we are all just looking at our phones.
I never allowed them at the dinner table.
No, 100%. No.
Talk about your day, and that's family time.
Because you are doing, and I feel, especially with me, if I'm on my phone, there will come a point when they're going to then want to be on the phone all the time. That's going to be very difficult to go, you can't do that.
Yeah, because the phone is linked to all these negative things. And one of the things that one of my colleagues did an Instagram post on, which I think is really good, is being involved in multiple work groups. And particularly as a doctor, you are obliged, or you feel you need to be on your phone 24/7. So that's 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. You need to make yourself available, even though you're not working.
Right.
And that we shouldn't really be in that situation, but we have this culture of when you're working, you need to be available 24/7 as a doctor.
WhatsApp group.
This is WhatsApp group, and people are. I think my colleague moved away and took herself outside of WhatsApp and said, "You can call me when I'm working,
Yeah.
but when I'm not working, unless it's an absolute emergency with a patient, then don't bother calling me." But we've just kind of gone into this constant communication, constantly on our phone. And when you're on your phone, you're checking your phone, and then social media comes in, and then your kids might be next to you watching the social media and doom scrolling. And I think it's all really massively intertwined.
Yeah, I definitely have had to try and take a step back from that personally as well.
We're definitely guilty of it.
Yeah, I think everybody is, because you forget what it was like before you had phone. And that, there was a time when obviously my son would be speaking to me, I'm on the phone like, yeah. I don't know what he said.
No.
That's really not cool. So I'm very much trying to give them my time, because they are young for very short periods of time. But it is really difficult. Social media has taken over a lot of people's lives. And I think we have to be hard. I don't think it's a bad thing that they're going to take it away. But I do think there's always ways around it.
Yeah.
I think from a cosmetic surgery point of view, from a plastic surgery point of view, I think it's very positive for our young kids growing up, being influenced by filters.
Yeah.
If it's done appropriately, having access to surgical procedures, having access to looking the way they look, and trying to match them up to Kim Kardashians, you're never going to look like that. But they get lots of mental health problems associated with that.
But I think there should be a thing, because like you say, a lot of young girls are having this baby Botox at a young age.
What does that
18,
even mean,
20.
baby Botox?
So
What
they
is that?
start Botox early to prevent the wrinkles from coming.
Yeah. I have been told that
Yeah.
it's good to do it to prevent the wrinkles.
Right.
But a plastic surgeon, you say different, because after so many years, 20, 30 years, that Botox isn't going to work as well.
If the muscles are never
gone.
doing their work,
No.
then actually your face is just all going to drop.
And your face does change. Like, you can notice. I remember you saying to me, you will start getting a line, a big vein line.
I've seen a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
Is that from Botox?
Yes. And once that comes, you can't get rid of that.
Why
What
does
is
that
that?
appear?
It's basically because all your muscles have wasted away from too much Botox. Your bone line and the veins that are left over just become more prominent.
I see.
It's just the muscle wastage.
Yeah, for muscle wasting, because the muscle gives you padding and it gives you youthfulness. But if you're paralyzed, whether you're from trauma, your legs waste away.
That's
don't
right,
they?
yeah,
And it's the
yeah.
same goes with.
So if you stop Botox, would the muscle come back?
If you start using it actively, that's why with everything, if you're using your muscles more, they
Another reason not to have Botox.
I mean, that
I have so many people with that, and I'm always like, oh, really? Is that Botox?
Yeah, but it kind of comes hand in hand.
I will.
However, I'm a huge advocate of Botox. I love Botox, but I didn't start having it until I was 40, and I think that there should be an age.
Yeah.
In your 20s, you really don't need it. You need those expressions and have a good time. But, when you get older, that's when you should be doing it. If not, these girls are going to end up having, and maybe interesting to see in 20
I
years'
guess
time.
we will be seeing it, won't we? The knock-on effect of how their faces are as they age.
Yeah, I do think even when people are so easily putting on before and afters on social media, and
I
you
saw
may
an
not
amazing one the other day.
but you may not realise that you're not going to look like that because you don't have the same body, and that can have a mental effect on kids.
It was with fillers, but this woman's face was transformed, and even I was like, holy moly, I need to show you that, because can we fix that for me? It is that thing.
I mean, if you do an immediate picture after fillers, it will look good because the swelling gives a more padded look, it lifts everything up. But 6 weeks down the line, when that swelling goes down,
she had a different face.
It
was in her nose and her everything. I was like, wow.
It would be interesting to see whether that was 6 weeks down the line immediately or 6 months.
Well, that migrates though, the fillers that
if you do too much, it can migrate,
I mean, it was a different face. Oh, I find that face.
Find that face.
I can understand why, from your view as a plastic surgeon, though, it's positive.
I think it's
for this
positive.
for these, but it's not gonna. We're not gonna see these results instantly.
No, I think there's going to be a lot of backlash from parents and kids.
Well, yeah, because for some parents it's easy, just shove them on a device.
That's the thing, and you don't.
And there is nothing wrong with that though, because sometimes you just need.
Oh, you do,
5 minutes.
But what I'm saying is, in extremes, you've got the ones who never want to interact.
Sitting there for 8 hours a day. But I think parenting is hard, and I think especially now.
I think parenting is hard when you've got the parents on social media telling you how to parent.
Yeah. Exactly, and that's really annoying. And at the end of the day, most parents, double parents are working. The mum and dad are working full time. You've got kids. You've got after school. You've got to make dinners. You've got all these other stuff. Sometimes they just need a break. It was different 15, 20 years ago. You know, you'd usually have a mum staying at home. That's not the case anymore. It's very difficult. And like I say, I think there are a lot of mums on Instagram that are creating the narrative of what actually isn't real life. So
and this trad mum. My
I love the trad mums. They're hilarious.
My cousin is a teacher.
Okay.
When we were coming out of COVID, because all the kids were on their social media, etc., they had to organise special lessons to teach young kids how to talk. They couldn't talk.
There is a massive thing in London. I went to a restaurant last year with my husband, and there was a couple sat beside me, and she was watching a film on her phone and he was watching TikTok, and they were in their early 20s. And this is like a thing now. No one goes out to eat and actually connect. We're all on our phones. But I don't think that is going to change. I don't think that will change
if we as adults don't change our habits.
You see kids now with pushchairs and the mums just give them the phone.
I've done that though.
Yeah, occasionally. But you see the people that do it all the time. Or in the car.
So when I had my kids, none of this existed. So I had to entertain my children like 24/7. Yeah, it was the reading with them, the playing the games with them. We didn't have that. I mean, there was TV, but even then, children's programs were not on all day like they are now. So they might have had a 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock slot where there was some kiddies programs on. So we had to entertain
Do you
our
remember
kids.
Saturday morning getting out for live and kicking?
Yeah.
Like you couldn't wait to get out Saturday morning.
And then it went on to football. I mean, it wasn't all day, was it?
No.
So you had to entertain children and talk to them.
But now they're being entertained by social media and morphed AI versions of before.
But that's only going to get worse.
Yeah, but at least if we ban it, hopefully it'll be less exposure with our kids.
Yeah. I hope so. I think it's just...
I think it's a positive. And when those kids grow up, hopefully they'll be telling us, stop using your phone.
Yeah.
You know, like when I tell my dad, you need to stop smoking, you know, because I grew up in an environment. He doesn't smoke, but he stopped smoking.
Yeah.
Because
that was the thing, wasn't it?
He would smoke occasionally, but because I grew up in an environment where smoking was bad, it was banned. It was like, you're not allowed to smoke, it gives you cancer, blah, blah, blah. Look at the picture, Dad. And I'm hoping those kids will grow up and say to us.
Yeah.
I think there are. So there are. I mean, you're always going to have two extremes, aren't you? But there are a lot of kids now that are at the gym and they're doing their protein shakes and doing all the stuff. I mean, we didn't do that when we were at that age.
I think that's good, but we need to look at why they're doing that. If they're doing it to stay healthy, that's good, but they are doing it
To create an image.
to create an image on social media, looksmaxxing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to do the whole looksmaxxing thing. So I think if they do that for their mental health and for their well-being, great. But if they're doing it specifically to create an image on social media, then it becomes unhealthy.
There are a lot of people videoing in gyms now.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan, but it's, you know.
Yeah, so it's kind of influenced us in a positive way, but also in a negative way that we need to get rid of, and that needs to be controlled.
Because it's still body shaming those that are not doing it and not looking like it.
We all have the same 24 hours, as Molly May once said. So, you know.
Yeah. So that was an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
I'm hoping we'll see lots of positive things.
I think it's positive, but I do think there's always
AI
ways
isn't
around
all
it.
bad. That's a good thing as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Isn't
but
it?
we need, but there are going to be some negative things about.
Like with anything,
Yeah.
finding the balance.
Yeah. I hope you will see some positive things from this. And we will see everyone in the next video.
We will.
All right then. Bye.